Your breath is the only bodily function you can run on autopilot or seize with your bare hands. That single fact has implications most people walk past every day without a second glance. You've spent years believing your body sends signals upward to your mind, that the flesh dictates and the spirit listens. By the end of this, you'll understand why every deliberate inhale is proof that consciousness moves in both directions, and why that changes everything about how you approach your own transformation. Think about the last time anxiety gripped you. Your chest tightened. Your breathing went shallow and fast. The body seemed to be running the show, and you were just a passenger strapped in. That experience feels so convincing that most people build their entire model of reality around it. The body reacts, the mind follows. End of story. Except researchers started measuring what happens when you reverse the sequence. When you deliberately slow your breathing to around 6 cycles per minute, your heart does something unexpected. The interval between each beat starts to shift, expanding and contracting in a smooth, rolling wave. Clinicians call this heart rate variability, and it's one of the most reliable markers of how well your body handles stress. High variability means resilience. Low variability shows up in people heading toward burnout, chronic illness, depression, and the shift from low to high can begin in under 5 minutes of controlled breathing. 5 minutes. Sit with that. You could spend months in therapy unpacking the origins of your stress response. You could take supplements, change your diet, restructure your entire schedule. Or you could sit down, close your eyes, and breathe at a specific rhythm. And within 300 seconds, the measurable signature of your stress begins to reorganize. The body doesn't wait for you to solve the problem intellectually. It responds to the breath like a tuning fork responds to a struck note. So why does this work? The mechanism is almost embarrassingly simple. Your inhale activates the branch of your autonomic system that accelerates your heart rate. Your exhale activates the branch that slows it down. When you extend the exhale, making it longer than the inhale, you're literally tipping the balance toward calm with each cycle. You're not waiting for calm to arrive. You're manufacturing it, breath by breath, using the same body that 5 minutes ago was flooding you with panic signals. And the stress hormones follow. Studies measuring saliva samples before and after controlled breathing sessions show measurable drops in the chemicals your body produces under threat. The same chemicals that keep you wired at 2 in the morning, replaying conversations, catastrophizing about tomorrow. A deliberate breathing pattern pulls those levels down the way a thermostat pulls down temperature. You set the dial, the system adjusts. Here's where it gets personal. You've probably tried to think your way out of anxiety. You've told yourself to relax. You've rationalized the fear, reminded yourself that the threat isn't real, that you're safe, that everything will be fine. And your body ignored every word, because the mind talking to itself is a closed loop. The breath breaks that loop open. It gives your intention a physical vehicle, something the body can't argue with, because the breath speaks the body's own language. Brain imaging confirms what contemplatives have taught for thousands of years. During controlled breathing, the regions responsible for executive function and emotional regulation light up with increased activity, while the regions associated with fear and reactivity quiet down. You're watching, in real time, the architecture of consciousness rearrange itself in response to a choice you made with your diaphragm. A muscle, pulling air, and the entire landscape of your inner experience shifts because of it. This is the bidirectional bridge that spiritual traditions have always pointed toward. Neville Goddard spoke of the body as the garment of the mind, something worn, shaped, and animated by consciousness. The Hermetic tradition teaches that the mental plane governs the physical, that every material condition is a crystallized thought. And here, in the breathing research, you see the proof running in both directions. The body influences the mind, yes. Every tradition acknowledges that. But the mind, through something as elemental as breath, reaches back down and rewrites the body's state. The conversation goes both ways. It always has. The question that matters is whether you've been participating in that conversation or just eavesdropping on it. Most people have surrendered their side of the dialogue entirely. They let the body's automatic patterns dictate their emotional reality. The shallow, rapid breathing of anxiety becomes their baseline. The tight shoulders, the clenched jaw, the held breath, these become so familiar they feel like identity. I'm an anxious person. No. You're a person who breathes like an anxious person. The distinction holds the entire teaching. When you sit down and breathe with intention, 4 counts in, 7 counts out, or whatever rhythm anchors you, you're making a declaration. You're telling every cell in your body that the emergency is over, and the cells listen. They have to. They were designed to. Your physiology was built with this override switch installed from birth. You just forgot it was there because nobody taught you to use it. A skeptic might push back here. Breathing exercises feel good in the moment, sure. But do they produce lasting change? Or just temporary relief? The research addresses this directly. Regular practitioners, people who commit to structured breathing for weeks and months, show baseline shifts in their resting heart rate variability. Their stress hormone levels recalibrate downward even when they're not actively practicing. The body learns the new pattern and begins to default to it. What starts as a conscious intervention becomes an unconscious tendency. You reshape the instrument by playing it differently. This is manifestation at its most tangible. You hold an intention, calm, coherence, presence. You embody it through the breath, and the body conforms to the state you've chosen. The outer measurement confirms the inner decision. Every spiritual teacher who ever said "feel the wish fulfilled" was pointing at the same mechanism. The feeling comes first, the body follows, the measurement confirms, and the implications ripple outward. If your breath can shift your cardiac rhythm in 5 minutes, what else is your body waiting for you to consciously direct? If a pattern of exhales can pull stress hormones out of your bloodstream, what other chemistry is responsive to your intentional state? The breathing research is a doorway, and most people treat it like a relaxation hack, a nice trick for bedtime. They miss what it actually proves, that you are not a passenger in your body, you are the one holding the wheel. You've always been holding it, your hands were just slack. The ancient yogic traditions called breath prana, life force, the bridge between the seen and unseen aspects of your being. They didn't arrive at this through brain scans. They arrived at it through direct experience, thousands of years of practitioners sitting with their own breath and discovering that consciousness and flesh are woven from the same thread. The scans caught up. The data validated what the sages mapped with their own awareness. 2 paths to the same summit. Your practice doesn't need to be elaborate. It needs to be real. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes before sleep. Sit. Slow the breath. Extend the exhale until your heartbeat settles into a rhythm you can feel. A rolling, steady wave that tells your entire system the storm has passed. Do this with the understanding that you're training more than relaxation. You're training sovereignty. You're proving to yourself, at the level of measurable biology, that your conscious intention shapes your physical state. Every breath you take on autopilot is a vote for the default. Every breath you take with awareness is a vote for the version of you that governs from within. The polls are open around the clock. You cast your vote 6 cycles per minute, and the body counts every single one.